Hey guys, enter the stars. And I always get a handful of naysayers in the comment section who are in denial about what they're seeing. They'll say things like, oh, chicken and pizza, that stuff's in all the movies. How can you say that that has anything to do with what's going on? And how can you say that those represent symbols for children and things like that? Well, I didn't want to have to do this video because it is actually so disturbing. But what you're seeing in The House That Jack Built is the story of a psychopathic murderer played by Matt Dillon. And in the scene that I just won't show because it's disturbing, he's literally sitting at the top of a tower hunting his family. We know who the hunters are. We've realized that that is their code name for what they do when they kill. They are called themselves hunters. Oftentimes they'll let the children run through the forest as they track them down. We've seen this depicted in many, many films as well. And it's no different in The House That Jack Built. So he meets up with his family, he puts red hats on all of them, lures them out, and then he starts hunting them. And he first shoots the kids one at a time, and then the mother. But before he shoots the mother, he sits down to have a little picnic. And in the picnic are the exact items that we've already discovered on this channel about a year ago of how they represent children. It's an exact analogy. We have the chicken, we have vegetables, we have fruit, and we have pie. Now, for those of you that don't know those symbols, there's a playlist on this channel called Pedo Code Playlist for Parents, I think is what I named it. And it shows you the repeating themes over and over and over again of these specific items in media where they should not be connecting. But they are, because it is code. And they know it. We're not talking just scary movies. We're talking mainstream television commercials. Kids' movies, we're seeing these themes repeat. And that's the crazy part. It forms a pattern. It's there. It's undeniable. And until you've seen my Pedoco playlist, you won't believe it. When you just see one decode at a time, you're not going to understand. It's not going to make any sense to you. When you see it in context, you know exactly what they're doing. Now, the word pie carries extra weight because not only is it another word for pizza, that's what they call pie in certain cultures, but it also stands for Pedophilia Information Exchange, which was a 1980s pedophilia magazine or publication. They shut it down, but that's what they called it because they knew that pie meant children. That's why they named it pie. Wasn't an accident. So this movie begins to reveal the method that we had already discovered. Now, why are they showing us this? Can't they get in trouble? Well, they're in a rush to hurry up and fictionalize the truth. In other words, they want us people to disregard what we're finding as, oh, you saw that in a movie. You see how that works. Now, these symbols for what they're talking about goes back all the way to the 70s. I saw a film with like Woody Allen in it from like the 70s or late 60s where he's running around bananas and fruit, and they're giant sized. Now, at the end of the film, Jack does not escape judgment. He goes to hell, as you can see here. That's interesting. What I want you to notice is the hexagonal columnar basalt. We discovered this as well about 2.5 years ago. We discovered that the hexagonal columnar basalt, which is seen all around the earth, is not due to volcanoes. That these were the former tree stumps that used to reach the heavens. And after the fall of man and mankind and humanity and all of nature, they solidified into these hexagonal columnar basalts the trees were cut off according to the book of Enoch. It says the angels cut down all the trees in the book of Enoch. This is why they don't want you to read Enoch, because it tells the truth. And that's why all these places around the earth that have these columnar basalts, they're named after giants and evil things like demons and stuff, is where these names come from. And that's weird, because they know. And now these places are used as conduits to the underworld. They used to go to heaven and connect heaven to earth. These were the trees of the garden. They're all cut off because we no longer had access to heaven. Remember, the angels came and around the garden and sealed the way off from the way back? Well, I think that may have had something to do with these trees that were cut down. Some of these structures look like tree stumps, exactly like tree stumps. Like in Devil's Tower in Wyoming was featured in the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And others are fragments of tree stumps. So I wanted to show you that they're now incorporating, as Jack falls into hell for all of his psychopathic murders, they're incorporating things we've already discovered. And this isn't to brag. This isn't me doing this. I'm not doing it. I'm simply listening and searching for the truth and sharing it with you every single day. And then it shows you God's hand in all of this. He's exposing these people, and they are rushing, literally rushing, to fictionalize this as quickly as possible. Now, the other thing I want you to notice, another thing that we had already talked about on this channel, were the red shoes. We told you that those were the skins. They're made out of skins of something that we can't say, but you know. And if you don't know, it's always really good to read the comment sections on my videos, because all of you are really, really smart, and you guys call this stuff out. You get it. It also helps you understand that you're not crazy when you see this stuff, that literally a lot of other people are thinking the same thing. Okay, this is what they don't want you to do, is compare with your peers. This is why Google was just before Congress, and they're trying to erase all this stuff about adrenochrome and all these things. Okay, and Hollywood can depict, they're allowed to depict all kinds of horrors, right? And all kinds of things, just unspeakable and unthinkable things on film under the guise of art and fiction. But then when we talk about those things, we're not allowed to? I mean, what are we, in second grade? So here's the problem. Now you understand. Now I put it all in perspective for you. We're living in a mirror world. Everything is backwards. They don't want you to know what they're up to, but they want to show it to you. See how that works? It's unbelievable. So, the red shoes. We have many, many videos on this channel about the red shoes. You could probably just type in red shoes, do a channel search, and you'll find all of those videos and understand why Jack is wearing red shoes in the house that Jack built. Take care and be safe, you guys.